You're watching On Demand. Please check the closing time before trying to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, Jane Moore, Brenda Edwards, Judy Love, and Janet Street Porter.
To your Tuesday's Loose Women. We've got a busy show for you today. Here's what we've got coming up. Her surname may be Love, but Judy is definitely not in love with her new house guests. She'll be revealing all a little later. Also on the show.
There's quite a lot to do. Is that why you've got that big jug of white wine there for me?
That's just for us. Yeah.
I normally just microwave mash in a packet.
Self-contest terrible cook Joanna Page will be telling us why she's agreed to take part in this year's Cooking with the Stars. And after having 4 children, she opens up about the decision to have her fallopian tubes cut. Plus, as Gary Lineker is pictured on a trip with his ex-wife, we're debating if any of us would or could go away with an old flame. But we're starting today with the story dominating the headlines. It's the wildfires on the Greek islands of Rhodes and Corfu, which are causing chaos for thousands of locals and holidaymakers. Now, this is a weird one because all the holiday companies are sort of saying that they want guidance from the Foreign Office website, and it's not really saying anything at the minute. So that if it doesn't say on the Foreign Office website advising not to go, a lot of the holiday companies are saying, well, we're not going to give you your money back if you don't go. And then some other experts in the travel industry are saying the Foreign Office could say, well, look, there's certain parts of the island that you shouldn't go to without saying the whole island, because obviously you've got to think about money back and people's livelihoods on the island and people's holidays that might get cancelled for no reason. So it's all a little bit of a mess. But, I mean, forest fires on the continent are not a new thing, are they, Janet?
Absolutely not. And perhaps the first thing to say is, why is it at the start of the holiday season everybody in the Foreign Office seems to be on holiday and not updating their website quickly enough? Yeah, it's true. Every summer throughout the Mediterranean there have been forest fires and bushfires. They happen every year, and this year they're happening more severely for maybe climate can change, maybe not. But a few years ago, I was holidaying on Corsica, which is a French island that has a reputation for fires in the holiday season. The reasons for it are often arson, locals who don't agree with the politics or don't agree with the tourism industry. And I just didn't believe it. I took my car on the ferry to Corsica, and the first night I stayed in a little hotel near the house that I'd rented. I looked up at the TV, the bar, and there was a hillside on fire, and in the middle of that fire was my holiday house. Wow. And it luckily didn't get as far as the house, but I know what it feels like to be in a forest fire. All you hear all night are helicopters dropping water, police sirens, ambulances, and you live in fear, plus the swimming pool's full of ash.
So you can understand why people at home at the minute are looking at the images on the news and thinking, well, I don't want to go there, you know, because...
But, yeah, you have to say, though, that the island is a big island.
Yeah.
So you could be going to a part of the island that's not going to have a fire, and you could be perfectly OK. But you've really got to check it out.
And actually, at the minute, because we don't have this Foreign Office advice, so, you know, British Airways are saying passengers that are supposed to be going to Rhodes can rebook if they want. EasyJet are saying all Rhodes holiday packages are cancelled with full refunds, whereas Ryanair flights are operating normally. So it's very sort of, you know, haphazard, isn't it, at the moment?
That's quite crazy, you know, it's scaring me. I'm thinking about flying out for the summer holidays, some of these parts, and you just got to think to yourself, like, I think surely if there's a significant risks. One, the airlines or the government at that time will make the appropriate warnings and to stop majority of the flights with refund. It's a natural thing that's happening. No one hasn't just decided they don't want to go for that holiday and just want their money back. But I think as well, we have to take responsibility and do your research. Maybe people are used to doing like the package holiday where everything gets done for you. But at this particular time, do your research, take your own responsibility into your, you know, your safety into your hands and make sure that it's appropriate for you to go, whether they say it's good or not. Because unfortunately, as we can see, some still don't want to cancel their flights.
one of our actual production team is due to fly to Rhodes to Lindos, which is like the sort of epicentre of the problem. And he's saying, his holiday company is saying that they won't give him a refund. Now, I think legally he's probably got a good case, but, I mean, what would you do, Brenda, if you...
Well, Janet's saying it could be or it could not be. That's too many variables in it for me, because just one gush of wind and then all of a sudden it's on my house or on my hotel where I'm staying. And as I agree with what Judy's saying, you should take responsibility. And for me, I wouldn't be going. If there's a fire anywhere in
But
that...
if your holiday company's saying it's
No.
cost you £3 grand, but we're not going to give you the money back if you cancel...
Yeah, but...
And you could be in a part of the island where...
I wouldn't be on that island. I look at everything and evaluate. If there's a risk of there being a fire, I'm not going, because at the end of the day, I think to myself, you've got the rescue services, they've got more than enough to do trying to put out that fire and rescue the people that actually live there. Why are they having to add even more to rescue me?
OK, well, I'm going to throw water on that fiery debate.
Oh, my God.
Right, on to something else now. And last night, Channel 4 aired a rather unique programme featuring MasterChef's Greg Wallace. Now, he was investigating new methods of mass-producing meat substitutes. Let's have a look.
That's right, a protein made from human cells that promises to be cheaper and tastier than any of its competitors. I'm Greg Wallace, and I'm off to visit Good Harvest, where a whopping 6 tons of human meat is engineered every day. That is stunning. With the promise of cheap meat for all, it may well be the meaty miracle we need to ease the squeeze of the cost of living.
Now, this was actually a mockumentary, and the process is not being rolled out in factories across the country. But, Brenda, now, you watched it. You were a little disturbed, right?
I came home after the show last night, and it takes a little while to unwind. I was so wound up after watching this 27-minute mockumentary, which I didn't realise, because it didn't, at any point in time when I started watching it, say, this is a mockumentary or this is not real or you know, and in a world of fake news where you just don't know what to believe nowadays, it really concerned me, and I was up all night just thinking somebody might soon come and eat me.
I can't believe it!
It was...
I can't believe it! You could have phoned me, love.
I'm a very tasty morsel. But it was just a bit too far for me.
Were you on your phone? Were you not? I mean, I guess get it for a bit, but... So
Did they not have a warning at the beginning?
There was nothing.
No, but it says here, the cooks try the so-called human meat and attempt to guess which person it came from in a lineup.
Yeah,
Did you not suspect anything then?
Because it was all the different blood cells, and it was just... And you see the thing in the incubator...
Greg Wallace is offered some toddler tartare. No, it didn't... I mean, you're not alone. The Guardian's Lucy Mangan, she says it took me a shamefully long time to work out what was going on.
Yeah, but we're in a world where certain things do actually happen. There's the scientists, and there's science that is doing things that we don't even know about.
I think it's a clever film that addressed an important subject. I mean, I really do.
There's different ways of talking about the cost of living crisis and telling me about blood and eating flesh.
I think it sounds really good fun, and I'm definitely going to watch it, but I think the Channel 4 have got a long track record of doing provocative films like this, and also this tradition of putting something out there as if it's real, there's a long history of it. I mean, years ago, the BBC, on April Fool's Day, put out a mockumentary showing spaghetti growing from trees. Wow. And you will not believe how many people thought that was a new way of growing spaghetti.
Yeah, but that's I'm not going to fall for that. That's different. I'm talking about, we know that there are some people who eat flesh. human flesh. It happens.
yeah, but
if it doesn't happen, then I'm fine.
But as Janet said, maybe, look, we're talking about it. A lot of people it caused a bit of a Twitter storm. So maybe it's highlighting a very real issue, you know, the cost of living crisis and where are we going to feed people
But
from?
also, more seriously, if you were in a crash, I mean, years and years ago, I interviewed these young men who were trapped in a plane in the high Andes. They're coming back from a rugby match. Their plane crashed and they were trapped on board, and it was 72 days before they were rescued, and they had to work out how to survive. And this is a true story, and it was subsequently made into a very good book and a movie. And I interviewed one of those boys, and they had to decide how they were going to live. And one of them was dead, died instantly in the crash, and they had to decide to eat his flesh. And they cut some strips of it and cooked it.
It's worrying. It is worrying, because I know if it happened like that, everyone's going to want to eat me first, because I've got to...
Judy, are you volunteering?
Are you volunteering?
Volunteer. But I believe... You know what? Look, to be honest...
I want to ask you, though... Sorry to interrupt you. I want to ask you a specific question. Being a comedian...
Yeah.
Do you think satire is dead if we have to keep labelling that it's satire and that there might be something in it to offend people?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, you know, that freedom of letting your mind be imaginative and being able to just flow with it is quite good. You know, it can take you on a journey. That's what entertainment is about. But I do believe that sometimes, you know, for some people, maybe, you know, if it's not advertised on telly but it's in the newspaper or somewhere it pops up, there might need to be just a balance of how extreme it might be. But I personally think we've probably all been to a stage where we've ate some kind of flesh that we're not used to. We eat animals. We eat animals, and I'm not being funny. We eat animals, and we're like, oh, it's all right to eat a cow. But, you know, we're talking about eating a human. No, I don't think it's right.
Two legs, no
if we've had a takeaway, we've probably had something that we've not usually want to eat anyway.
Well, Channel 4 spokesperson told us this mockumentary is a witty, thought-provoking commentary on the extreme measures many people are being forced to take to stay afloat in our society during the cost of living crisis. And as you said, Janet, says Channel 4's got a long and rich history of satire in a way to highlight society's most important issues. OK, still to come. It's flying ant season and Judy's not happy. No, she's having a bit of an ant rant. We'll be revealing our own annoyances and why Janet has used her love of crime dramas to help her. And Gavin and Stacey star Joanna Page will be here, but can you guess what happened next in this clip? We'll see you after the break.
We want to get married on the 6th of April, which would have been Dad's 50th birthday.
Oh, that's lovely, that is, Stacey. They've been so proud.
Is that the 6th of April next year, or the 6th of April as in only 8 weeks from now?
As in 8 weeks.
I need a fag.
Well, it's not ideal, but it's doable. Now, Mick, you're going to have to call in a favour at the golf club tomorrow. I'll ring up those lovely caterers that Dawn had for her mum's funeral. Oh, that was a smashing day. Now, as for the church...
Mum, we're getting married in Wales.
Before the break, we showed you a classic clip from Gavin and Stacey, and we asked you what happened next. Well, let's take a look.
What?
We're getting married in Barry.
I don't think so.
Wow.
We are, Mum.
Oh, no, you're not. Mick, tell him.
That's what they want. That's what we'll do.
Michael, I am not traipsing the best side of my family all the way down to Wales to see my son, my only son, get married in some dirty fairground.
Well, I don't want my daughter getting married in Essex. I mean, what's she going to wear? A mini skirt and white stilettos? Ma'am, don't be so
One of the best.
It's a classic, but 4 years since it was on our screens, could a Gavin and Stacey reunion be on the cards? Well, we're going to be asking Joanna Page when she joins us in the studio a little later. Plus, it's an inevitable aspect of parenting, but how do you deal with back chat? Lots of opinions on that. But before all of that, it's competition time and how you could win £50,000 cash. Ooh. You peaked too early, and a brand new camper van. Josie has all the details.
We have a super sizzling summer prize worth more than £135,000.
Come with me, I'm going to take you for a spin.
They've let me loose in this beautiful North Devon countryside to take our prize for a road test.
Morning! Hi! So, do you know what? People are very friendly around here, but I don't know if it's because I'm driving this hot rod. Ram you! I speak sheep.
Our top-of-the-range VW camper van, worth more than £86,000, comes with leather seats, a cooker, a fridge and a pop-up roof. Plus, don't forget, there is £50,000 in tax-free cash as well. For another chance to win the camper van and £50,000 in tax-free cash. Text PRIZE to 88333. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 783333. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY28 PO Box 7 558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 11th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Now, summer is in full swing, apparently. And although occasionally the weather is lovely, it's also the time of year when millions of flying ants swarm the skies. Now, one of us has been seriously bugged by this, haven't we, Judy?
Yes, I have. I mean, listen, I feel... No, I can hear buzzing. Listen, I can't. I feel like I'm being personally attacked. I know it's the summertime. I had flying ants... You can hear it.
I can hear that.
Me. Had flying ants in the house, like, around the house. So I thought it was in the garden, because I used to live in a flat before.
Don't start scratching.
Yeah, I am scratching. You can see me. So I thought it was coming from the door at the back. And then, yeah... opened the door near my toilet and there was just loads of... It was like a horror movie. Loads of flying ants. And I was like, where's your mama? Where's your mama?
Where's the queen?
Where is the queen? There cannot be two queens in this house, right? And it was... I mean, there are thousands of them. I don't know what kind of exercise they're doing, but they breed a lot. There was absolutely thousands. And they're just relentless. And I'm just like, OK, what's a natural way to get rid of them? Got to find where they're coming from. And, like, I found that there was a little hole in the back where my boiler is, so I've just got to kind of seal that up and gently kind of move them onto somewhere else because I can't take
What do you mean gently? What, you've got to give them holiday brochures or
I'm going to give them something. They need to... And you know what? Even my
Don't you just, like, fumigate them?
Didn't you just pour a load of ant powder down the hole?
I felt a bit bad. I felt a bit bad. So
with ants?
Well, I just...
They haven't got brains, they're ants.
I know, but they must have... They've got some kind of feelings. I just felt a little way, but then I was like, you're crossing the line, Mama Ant, right, when you're coming into my yard. So one of us has to go, and it's not going to be me. And my cat, Bella, is just the most relaxed Jamaican cat, I want to call her. Because she just like, meow. She's not even trying to move them or anything. And I'm just like, I can't do it. My daughter panics from it. So you were trying to, like, get rid of them and hopefully she'll have her nest somewhere else. I can't take them.
Are they still there now?
No, they've gone down a little bit since I've, like, blocked up the hole. But even outside of the house...
They'll come back in somewhere else.
What do you mean?
Of course they will.
You've got to find the source.
Yeah, you've got to go back. I remember because I had ants crawling across the floor and someone said, you follow where they're coming from, you follow it back, and then they come, they investigate and they go back, send the word out, then more come. So the front one is messenger ants.
So they have got brains.
But you know what?
Well, they've got simple brains where they're going back, so you've got to find out where they're fleeing from into your house.
But these flying ants, what I find different about them, they're not going for food or anything like that. Nothing sweet. They're just coming out like to say, wagwan, summertime. It can't work in my house.
I even had ants coming up my designer shocking pink Barbie kitchen that I had in 2017 ahead of the trend. The other day, I saw ants in my kitchen. It's like a pristine surface, no dirt, nothing, all lovely and pink. And there were ants walking across it. How have they
They
got
get
them up?
everywhere, don't they? Have you ever had blue... we had a blue bottle
Oh, my
nest.
God, I don't want to tell you my
it took
story.
months to get rid of them.
I had blue bottles when I first moved into my house, and it was like a council property, so they had to, like, clean it up and do whatever. And I was calling them, saying to them, listen, there's these flies. My friend again was like, you got a garden, girl, this is what happens. But then there was so many, I mean, I called, like, the people that come, the pest people, and they were kind of like, maybe there's a dead body, we're going to have to do something. At first, they were telling me, clean your house. I was like, listen, I can't say what I told you on national TV, but what I did say, my house is clean. And then I got frustrated. I collected all the blue bottles, put them in a container, walked down to the council and said, here you are, darling, what do you want to do with that? I would say, that's not the advice to do, because I did get banned from the council office. But what they found out, there was a dead bird in the chimney, and it really made me feel kind of oppressed, like they weren't really listening to me, but there was a dead bird, and it was coming through, and I can't.
So I've just been on holiday in France, and whenever I go on holiday, all my friends are always like, how come you never get bitten by a mosquito? Mosquitoes just don't like me. Something, I think I've got low blood pressure or something. Okay. So it's like a boast now. I always arrive going, oh, they never bite me. Well, I don't know what it was that got in my bed with me, but look at the state of my legs.
Oh, wow.
I think it was like a horsefly or something.
Oh, they're the worst.
It was literally... They're not midgie bites, are they? No. They're like proper, like big old horsefly bites, so... Brenda?
No, I don't like things biting, flying. You know, brave flying ants, they're more brave than the ones that just walk.
Actually, ladybirds are the worst. They bite.
Do they?
Yeah.
Ladybirds?
Yeah, ladybirds. We had an infestation of them outside my bathroom window.
Oh. No, you can't.
I was told if there's certain spots on the ladybirds, then the more
Yeah, there's two
potent.
different kinds of ladybirds.
We love ladybirds.
We love other animals.
Still to come. Now, they may be small, but their back chat can be mighty. We're discussing when children talk back and revealing which one of us was a rather sharp-tongued teen. And she says she's a bad chef and she doesn't enjoy it. So, of course, she signed herself up with Cooking for the Stars. Joanna Page will be telling us all about her big culinary disaster and what happened when she tried to woo her husband. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to your Tuesday Loose Women Live. Keeping you company for the next half an hour, it's Judy Love, Janet Street Porter, Brenda Edwards and me, Jane Moore. Now, still to come, we're discussing how you cope with back chat from your child. And revealing which one of us is guilty of being a bit of a sassy kid. Can you guess? And as Gary Lineker is seen holidaying with his ex-wife, we're asking, how would you feel if your partner wanted to go abroad with an old flame? Look at this face. No. Lots of opinions on that later, but first it's time for today's guest. Now, best known for telling us what's occurring on Barry Island, Gavin even, and Stacey Starr, Joanna Page has swapped a stick of rock for a spatula and a saucepan to compete in this year's Cooking with the Stars.
I would say the majority of my cooking comes out of a packet.
Actually, now, that's quite soft, isn't it?
Is this pasta?
Yeah. You know the Play-Doh you have with your kids?
Yes.
Play-Doh texture, that's what you're looking for. Flour, eggs and egg yolk.
Get it all in. But I can't have it going. It's not rolling.
Right, let's get that rolled out a little bit more. Right, let it through. You hold it and I'll do it.
OK.
OK.
That looks much better. It's a really refined plate of food. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Please welcome the lovely Joanna Page.
All right, what's it going I was quite excited about. I thought it was Gary and Stacey. I thought I wouldn't mind going with Gary.
The remake. So let's start with Cooking with the Stars. I was very surprised to hear that you said you were out of your comfort zone because you've got 4 kids.
Yes,
you must cook.
I'll do baking, but when I'm cooking for them, it's purely practical. I won't do stuff, you know, out of a packet for them, aside from rice, actually. I will only ever do rice out of a packet. but I'll do, like, you know, I'll do some fish or some potatoes, but it's practical. I have no enjoyment in it. I cook so much now with the children that it's just, I hate it. And so with this show, I just thought, OK, it's out of my comfort zone. Let's go for it. You've got nothing to live up to. You're not a cook. You don't need to be nervous. Just go and learn something new.
What about when you met your husband?
Well, when I first met James, I said to him, oh, well, you know, I'll cook dinner for you. I'll do spaghetti bolognese. And so, I mean, I thought this was brilliant. I boiled spaghetti and then I put that on the plate. And then I got a tin of tuna and I got the brine out and then I just put the tin of tuna on the top and that was it. And that was my spaghetti bolognese. But I would just like to say...
I got you the ring, so boy, I better find some tuna.
It might not have been that got me the ring. I mean, something seriously was working because he did marry me. But yeah, no, that was like my standard of spaghetti bolognese. So I thought, you know, this should be fun and relaxing. It wasn't. It was borderline traumatic. When you're there, I mean, it was a great experience. Yeah. But when you're there and you're in the studio and you've got all of the chefs sitting there watching, all of the contestants at the bar watching, you've got an hour to cook something which is so out of your comfort zone and skill level, and then they just tell you to start cooking.
It's a bit like the difference between being a cook and being a chef, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, it was just absolutely terrifying.
What's your new skill?
Oh, making pasta. Yeah. I mean, yes, on episode 1, I mean, Michael Keynes, who's my chef, Michelin-starred chef, absolutely amazing man, cooks the most fantastic food. I absolutely adore him. He was so calm and kind and lovely. And I turned up for the first day and he said, you're making ravioli, my own ravioli, in, you know, the doodah machine, and you're doing your own sauce, which goes inside it. I mean, I was like, are you joking? I mean...
On the first day?
On the first day. I mean, normally I'll just put pasta out of the packet and, you know, boil it, and people are lucky if they get a sauce out of a jar. and then actually having to do that, competing against Peter Andre, and then it was just terrifying, the nerves, and you don't have very much time. We're trying not to cut ourselves. And
have you actually cooked any of it since at home?
Yes, I have. I've cooked that since. That is now my go-to meal. My family have had it so many times. They've had it so many times. They are still liking it, so that's good. But you know, when you go through an experience and you all just bond and you all just club together, that's what it was like, and we all got on so well.
No, I don't believe it. When I did MasterChef, I hated the others.
Did you?
When I didn't win the first time, I was really hacked off.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that we weren't competitive, because when we were all together and you're sitting at the bar and it's not you cooking, that was fab. I mean, I was next to Jason Watkins, we were chatting about acting, we were having a brilliant time and a laugh, and we're all so lovely and friendly with each other. But then, when I got in the kitchen, I was just like, I don't want to let Michael down, I don't want to let myself down. I'm an actress, I'm competitive, I want to win, I want to get through, I'm not letting myself down, and so that kicks in. And then you realise you kind of don't have the skills to back it. And it's really scary.
You know what? The thing is, you've picked up so many skills, and you just said there that you're an actress, you're a mum, and all these different things. And I was reading about you were saying you come to a stage where you realise, as a woman, you can't have it all.
I know. I mean, it's probably quite controversial to say, but personally, I feel like you can't. I mean, it's hard.
What did you feel you was compromising on when you was trying to balance
everything?
everything?
My career, always my career, because I was all full for my career before having children, wasn't in the least bit broody, didn't want to have children, and then suddenly I woke up at 35 and just thought, I have to have a baby, I want a baby now. And then up until giving birth the day before, I said to my husband, what if I don't love it as much as the dog? And he said, don't worry, if you don't, I will look after it. And then Eva was born, and I don't think I let anybody else hold her for years. I mean, and I just adore them. I love being with them. I mean, that's little Beau. And so
you had 3, waited a bit.
Well, I know. I thought...
So Beau was an accident, sort of?
Well, kind of an accident.
Or...
I just thought, well, you know what? I'm mid-40s. I'm not going to get pregnant. you know. Let's have a go. And a complete and utter surprise. I always wanted 4, James wanted 3, and so I just thought, well, I'm not going to get pregnant, am I? Well, you do. You do get pregnant.
My mum had me quite late. She was 48, and I think to myself, I'm 43 now. I don't know if I'd have any more children, but then maybe I would. So are you still feeling broody? I know you said you've got your fallopian tubes.
Oh, of course I'm feeling broody. I mean, after having Beau, I did have my fallopian tubes cut.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about it a lot because I knew inside, I mean, I'm 46, I couldn't go through another pregnancy, I'd be utterly exhausted. And also, I want to give enough time to my children. But not that long ago, I went on the internet and I looked up, can you have your tubes put back together? And you can, and it says
have you told James
Well,
this?
I did. I said to him. I said to him. And it's 1 in 200 women can, you know, maybe get pregnant after doing that. I told him, and he just looked at me and he went, "You what? What on earth are you going on about?" So I will not be having any more. I've got my beautiful 4 children.
Gorgeous.
But when you were saying before, I feel I've always compromised on my career, which I'm happy about because I don't think I'll be on my deathbed going, oh, I wish I'd gone to Hollywood and auditioned for this, that. I mean, I just want to, it goes so fast and I just want to spend as much time
Would you say
with
it's a
them.
compromise or a balance?
I'd say it's a compromise, which I'm happy with. But I would say it is a compromise. But I'm quite happy with it.
But you say you love spending so much time with your children, so much so that you haven't slept in the same bed with your husband for 10 years.
Well, we've got
That's
to a
amazing.
case now where, well, actually, sometimes we do end up in our bed together.
Well,
sometimes we end up...
4 kids.
Well, I know. Other times we both end up in, like, one of the kids' beds together. It's a case now of wherever you can get some sleep, get into that bed and get that sleep. I mean, if the 10-year-old wants to sleep in with us, or the 8-year-old, or, like, all of them, that's absolutely fine. I mean, however we can get some sleep, get into that bed and you get that sleep.
Amazing.
Well, look, I've got to ask you about Gavin and Stacey, because James Corden, as we know, has moved back to the UK. That might sort of, like, heighten the... I know we've had one reunion. Would you be up for another one?
Oh, I think we all would. I mean, we all adore each other. We're all, like, fab. So, you know, I think we all would. But, I mean, you know, Ruth and James write it, so you don't have a clue. I mean, in my head, I think it's all finished and all done, because that's what happened, you know, after the last special. It was sort of like, well, yeah, you know, that's the end. So I think I'd be very surprised if there was a phone call and they said, oh, you know, would you want to do another one?
Oh, you never know.
Well,
you never know.
yeah.
Now, you're staying with us.
Yes.
For our debates in the next part. So, fantastic. Joanna will be back with us. Just to say, though, Cooking with the Stars, 9 p.m. tonight on ITV1. So here's a quick one for you, talking of Gavin and Stacey. So if Gavin went on holiday with his ex, how do you think Stacey would feel?
She'd hit the roof. She'd go berserk. Wouldn't stand for it.
Right, well, we're going to be discussing that and more right after this. Hello again. Joanna Page is still with us, and in just a moment, a really big dilemma for you, OK? Would you be OK if your partner went on holiday with an ex?
Of course not.
Exactly. We'll be revealing what we all think after Gary Lineker did just that with his former wife, Danielle. But competition time before all of that, and there's 2 prizes up for grabs for one lucky person. Josie has all the details.
Hello and welcome to Westwood Co. A little trivia fact for you today. This is the only place in the country with an exclamation mark in its title. I'm here checking out our incredible prize and getting a slice of the camper van life.
This is one slice I definitely don't want to miss out on. The big question is, what comes first, the jam or the cream?
Oh, you're in Devon, so it's definitely the cream first.
The cream, really?
So you can get maximum amount of cream on and then just blob the jam on the top.
And just a dollop?
Yes.
Imagine where our prize could take you. Our top-of-the-range camper van is ready and waiting to be all yours. So if you win, it could be on your driveway in a matter of weeks. For another chance to win the camper van and £50,000 in tax-free cash. Text PRIZE to 88333. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 783333. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY28 PO Box 7 558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 11th of August at 3 p.m. Good luck!
Thanks, Josie. Now, no doubt when we were younger, all of us at one point gave our parents some form of back chat. It's a rite of passage. You've got 4 little ones, Joanna, so you must be in the thick of the back chat.
Well, my eldest is 10, so the back chat is starting. And the other day, we were talking about something, and she said, "And your point is?"
Hey.
and most
Sounds
of the
like
time...
Janet, she says that.
But most of the time, I try and stay calm, and I'll explain and say, well, you know, Mummy's got a lot of experience, I've been through lots of different things, I'm just trying to advise you. And I keep it like that most of the time. But this time, she sort of came back with something else, and I couldn't help myself. She was saying I was uncool or I hadn't experienced something. And I ended up going, well, you know the actor who plays Willy Wonka, and I'd like to say Gene Wilder, and not Gene Wilder, Johnny Depp, not Gene Wilder. Yeah. She went, yes, and I went, well, Mummy's kissed him. And I went, so I have done some cool things then. And then I had to say that to just go, well, there you go then. So every now and then, I do let myself down, but most of the time, I just try and stay calm and focused and just try and get through it. But it's hard.
It is. Different times. Janet, were you a back chatter when you were a kid?
No, I didn't get to that. I just had the face. My mother would say to me, take that look off your face or I'll knock it off. And I hadn't even said anything. It was like pre-saying something. And the only thing that kept me going was thinking they picked up the wrong baby in the nursing home.
Oh.
It would not be my mother. But as a result of that repressed childhood, because we didn't have any much conversation in our house. There were loads of rules, and there was not a lot of chat. Certainly no back chat. You wouldn't dare do that. And my Welsh granny, when I went to stay with her in the school holidays, I arrived at her little cottage in North Wales, and there'd be a fresh birch rod over the door. She'd just point at it.
Oh, my gosh.
No need for back chat there. You knew you'd get that across your backside. So I think as an adult, I've always been really lippy, never fit in, a really, you know, questioning, challenging person. And I also admire that in other people. No, I admire people like that because I feel it's from a repressed childhood.
Well, I think that's good, though, isn't it? Because,
I mean, Bran, you feel...
I relate to Janet totally, yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
you weren't allowed to say anything.
No, I was raised in a very strong family, disciplined, you know, wouldn't even think once, let alone twice, of back chat. You just don't, it's just not an option. It was never on the table. So, yeah, and now, with my kids, you know, they are more forward and they do speak their minds more, which I do appreciate. But, you know, sometimes I'm having a conversation and Tanisha might say, it's not that deep. And I'm like, it's not that deep. You want to know how... Oh, anyway, yeah, I won't... I won't go any further. But when she says that, I'm like, it's not that deep. Come on, it's deep. Let's get into this.
I mean, for me, it's a fine line, isn't it? Because we've got the 3 girls, and half the time it was like, if it's rude, then they would get the look, which tells them they don't go over that line again, or there's going to be trouble. You want the look? Hang on. But if they're cheeky, I find if it's like done with a bit of humour and it's quite funny and it's a good riposte, I kind of think, oh, I quite like that because I want my girls to grow up and go into a workplace where they stand up for themselves.
I mean, for me, I wish my back chat was as fast as the backhand, because it wasn't the backhand. But I find, yeah, my kids are at that stage where they want to have a little bit of back chat, but I'm finding it's the opinion, they're so opinionated. Like my son, he's got this thing about, yeah, but was it facts or is it your opinion? Is it led by emotion or is it led by facts? And I'm sitting there going,
he's going to be a politician.
Yeah. I contacted the school and was like, put him in the debate club because I'm not here every minute I'm saying to him, I'm not having a debate with you, I'm telling you something. And he's like, yeah, Mum, but I'm trying to understand where that's coming from. I'm like, are you a psychologist or what? So it is definitely different times, but I think, you know, I agree with what you're saying, where it helps them to kind of understand having an opinion and debating something, but just no, don't do it with me.
Now then, Gary Lineker and his ex-wife, Danielle Bucks, were recently spotted on holiday together in Ibiza, despite divorcing 7 years ago. Now, Gary's previously said that the pair remain very close and are the greatest of friends. And it seems to be very much the case. So, I mean, I kind of think this is quite a good thing. I think Gary's also said that he's very good friends with her husband. So they don't have an issue with it. So what do you think, Janet?
Yeah, I've been on holiday with my ex-partners. I think it shows that you had a relationship with them, you valued it. You might go through a bit of a rocky patch, might get divorced, but then, you know, there's qualities about them that you saw in the first place, and 9 times out of 10, I would definitely go on holiday with them again.
What about those? So that's you, but what about if somebody that you were very keen on was going on holiday with their ex?
That hasn't happened. Yeah, but I mean, with the exception of the crazy person that I married in Las Vegas, whose name I have obliterated, I think all my husbands were very, very nice people, really, really nice people, and I like their ex-wives. They were all nice as well.
Yeah. Brenda?
I think it's different if you're 2 exes and you're single. That's different. But I'm just thinking of myself. I am a slightly jealous person. And if it was me and, you know, you come with a disclaimer, we were talking about disclaimer, you come with a disclaimer before I'm even with you. By the way, you have to have an NA. There's an NA for me for a period of 2 weeks because I'm going out on holiday with my ex. I'd be like, you know, can't I come with you or something?
What's their name?
Joanna, I know I asked you earlier, but you...
NA is not available, but you're not available before I'm even in that relationship. I think if you're single, that's different. But if you're married, after 1, that's fine. But then when you're doing it annually and it becomes a tradition like Christmas, it's a different matter.
It's really lovely because when you go on holiday with your exes, you know what kind of food they like. You know,
but then you can be compared with each other. I know that Janet likes a gin and tonic, or I know that Janet likes this hot.
I think it's different if you've got young children.
Yeah, but if you like being with them that much and enjoying spending time with them, why would you have divorced them in the first place?
Because they've just got to their sell-by date.
Well, what can you say to that?
I think, me personally, I think it's about establishing boundaries in any relationship that you get into. If you've got children, and maybe there's still certain things that you want to do together. But I think, for me, when I think of having my time off, that's away from work, that's my peaceful time, that's when I get to see my closest and dearest. And if I had a partner and my partner decided that they wanted to go on holiday on their own with their ex, my thing would be, you want your peaceful time with that person, and that would be a problem for me. Yeah, because I'm supposed to be your peace.
I don't know, I mean, yeah.
But, you know, holidays aren't all about, you know, bonking, and holidays can just be about...
That's what you were implying. No, I'm saying, like, if you just want to go away and that's your time down, your time down.
Yeah.
If you want to do that with someone else, why wouldn't you want to have your time down with me?
I'd just be far too jealous.
And
you know.
sadly, we've run out of time.
We need a bell.
Just when it got interesting. That is it for today. There's no show tomorrow because of the Women's World Cup, but we are back on Thursday when our Denise will be hosting our very own Byker Grove reunion. Yes. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.